message about what we're all about as a compassionate organization. So tonight we're going to be singing The Lady of the Harbor and We Shall Be Known.
ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Thank you so much, Harmonia. It's so much fun singing with you. And now I have some introductions to make. Please go ahead if you haven't finished eating or you haven't even gotten your food yet. Please go ahead. We're just got our food started a little late, but that's okay. We're doing fine. So first of all, I'd like to introduce our board members. And they're probably running around somewhere. I'm not sure we can find all of them. Bruce Garland, are you in here? There you are, all the way in the back. He's our vice president. Bruce also is a volunteer at the Veterans Administration, and he works at Circle of Life Hospice as a volunteer, sitting with people many times in their final moments of life. He and his wife, Sue, are also part of a respite care team for therapeutic foster care children. And I would like to introduce Sue now. Sue, you're already standing. There you are. Sue Garland, she's our secretary. In addition to therapeutic foster care, Sue volunteers at the Magdalene House. Thank you so much, Sue. Next, we have Dr. Denise Hoy. She's a member and she was not able to be here tonight, but she is the principal of the Alps School of Innovation in Fayetteville, an alternative school geared toward helping young adults find their way to careers and to go to college. And Carlos Chicas, did Carlos make it tonight? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's another one of our members. He's the sports anchor for Azteca America and the voice of the Razorbacks in Spanish. He's also a school counselor at the Alps School of Innovation. So thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Denise Hoy. And Leanda Gavin, are you in the room? I saw you earlier. She was at the registration desk. Leanda? Okay, I can't see you. You're somewhere. Leanda is a member, and her husband, Kobe Codbill, he was helping get the food out today. Oh, there they are. They're at the door. They're a couple that was really helpful in helping our family from Africa, our refugee family, settle here in Fayetteville. And they also have 4 children, and both have jobs and are going to school. So now that's a busy family. And last but not least, certainly not least, is my husband Ed. He is the treasurer, so not only, he's over here, and he's not only the treasurer, but he's also in charge of our marketing, and he sends all those flyers you get in your emails a lot. He does so much that I could not do what I do without him, seriously. In fact, right now, as you can see, he's operating the video and the slides. So, and on top of all that, when I need him, he fixes my computer. So thank you, Ed Williams. This is the most amazing board, and I am so proud and honored to be the president of it. So thank you all for coming here tonight and helping us celebrate this time together. Now, during the evening, I'm going to be calling out to some of our table displays. And if your name is called, just wave your arm or something. I know a lot of you visited the tables. Awesome. That's what people are hoping for. We are hoping that you would go there, talk to them, see what they're doing. And right after the program is over, you're invited to stop again because these people have worked hard in their nonprofits. So the first one I'm going to call out is Magdalene's Serenity House. Who is here from that? There you are right there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, indeed. And Mount Sequoia Center. Where are you, Mount Sequoia Center? Right back there. Thank you so much.
But I don't know.
And Mount Sequoia is one of our newest partners, and we're delighted to have you here.
Thank you, though.
Now, there was a planning team for this event, which, well, you can imagine, it takes quite a bit of planning. And Sue and Bruce Garland were a part of that. Christy Ralph, Patty Williams, and myself and Ed Williams. And thank you to all of us. We wouldn't do this without a plan, that's for sure. And now we have some very special guests. I'd like to stand today, please. The founders of Compassion Fayetteville. Patty Williams, will you please stand? And Evita Salani, would you please stand? There she is. Please remain standing for just a moment. Patty was instrumental in getting the groundwork leading to Fayetteville becoming a compassionate city. She has worked extensively with Black History Month, and she continues her work even as we talk. She's still involved in the organization a lot. And Vahida Zamani, she was one of the original founders, and she's a local therapist and counselor for troubled youth in our community. And the third founder was Margot Lemaster. She could not be here tonight because she had to go to a wedding, but Margot is now the director of Engage Northwest Arkansas in Springdale. So thank you to our founders for this wonderful organization. Thank you. Okay, this is where I would introduce the mayor if he were here. But as you might know, he's off being voted first place at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. For the Mayor's Climate Protection Awards. Isn't that awesome? I just love our mayor, don't you? But even though he could not be here in person, we have a video that he made last fall to send to the Parliament of World Religions, which was held in Toronto, Canada. That was last October, and we'd like to share that with you tonight.
As mayor of a compassionate city in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I have watched Compassion Fayetteville
Their volunteers tirelessly plan and manage all the details that go along with making all sorts of projects successful in our city. I am amazed at what they have done and what they will do in the future. Our city is richer because of the great compassion of its citizens. Our citizens are richer for having shown compassion to others. More cities and towns across the world should affirm the Charter for Compassion and join compassionate cities, because by giving freely, without condition, without judgment, by extending your hand and your heart, that's the definition of a compassionate person. Your cities and towns will be blessed to be a community filled with compassionate people, which will ensure that your city remains healthy and strong. Thank you.
The next couple of tables that I wanted to call out to was Terra Studios. You're right up here. A playground and art, yes. And Dawn Downey, author. There she is, she's standing up. From Kansas City, yeah. And a passionate follower of Compassion in Fayetteville. Thank you, Dawn. Is our guest speaker, first one here? Is Yolanda here? Yolanda, come on up. I didn't see you all the way in the back. Our first speaker tonight is completely dedicated to her role as Community Resources Director for the City of Fayetteville. She currently administers the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, and Community Development Block Grant. She has been with the City of Fayetteville for 31 years. Incredible. And we are just delighted to have Yolanda here.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to speak. I want to be able to share as much information as I can. I have a limited amount of time. My hope is that the information that I do provide to you, that you will pass on to others or use it yourself if you at any point in time are in need. I'm from the City of Fayetteville. Of course, I'm the Community Development Resources Director. Our division is made up of 3 programs. We have code compliance, the animal shelter, and community development. Sounds like an odd mix, but over the years it has brought forth some fantastic results. In our community development program, we provide housing rehab and repair. We average about 20-25 projects a year. Some of them are really large. Our rehab caps off at 30, but we look at each individual project and we provide the assistance that is needed. We also have our transportation program, that's transit and taxi. At this moment, we are helping over 400 individuals, whether it be with transit passes or with taxi coupons, so that they have a subsidized additional $30 a month for the transportation needs, which really comes in handy when you have a limited income. In 2002, code compliance was added to the division. At that point in time, it became clear that when individuals have code compliance issues and they have limited income, there was a need. So now we provide assistance for individuals who are low to moderate income folks. They own their home, they live in the City of Fayetteville, they happen to have code violations. We have a program now to assist them. In 2009, the animal shelter was added to the division. At that point in time, we were going through some really difficult times economically. I started seeing a lot of animals being surrendered at the shelter. Pets are family members. Because individuals are dealing with financial issues, they should not have to surrender a family pet. So we started Ranger's Pantry, a pet food bank, in 2010. Since we began that program, we have given out over 150,000 pounds of pet food, and we have helped over 4,000 folks. And I want to thank you out there, because a lot of you, those donations, that food that has been distributed has come from you. So either you have provided the pet food as donations or funding as donations, and you have helped a lot of families stay together. So thank you so much for helping us. have now also started providing free vaccination clinics at Seven Hills and at Salvation Army through animal services, because we also started realizing that homeless individuals have pets. They don't have the funds to be able to provide the needed health care for those pets, and that should not be the case. So every quarter now we're cycling, either we're at Seven Hills or we're at Salvation Army, and we also at the same time are building relationships with individuals so that they don't fear the folks that work at the animal shelter. We're there to provide assistance, but sometimes folks you have to reach out to people, and they have to understand that we are here to help, not to hurt. So that's been a really successful effort. At the same time, we're also providing information on our programs to folks who might need it. So it's really been a good bridge builder for those individuals that might have need of our services. In addition to that, and some of you might be very happy to hear this, I'm always surprised how many folks don't know this, but we also, through CDBG, we provide funding for nonprofits. The funding cycle for next year is about to begin July 31st. There's a mandatory workshop. It will be held in City Hall, room 326 at 2 o'clock. If you hope to apply for funding, whether it be for public services, that would be for programs where you're providing services to individuals that are low to moderate income, or whether you have a facility that might need some repair and you're serving individuals that are low to moderate income that live in the city of Fayetteville, you should consider applying for this funding. We also have a program where we provide public facilities to nonprofits. At this time we have 4 locations, and so we're providing that at $1. The rent is $1 a year. So we've had one tenant in a building, I would say, for over 30 years, because they've been there since I've started working for the city, and that's a Head Start over in Barton. So that's another one of our programs. And to date, through our internal and external funding, the city of Fayetteville, through the CDBG program, has invested back into the community over $2.5 million. We're just so lucky that the mayor is totally supportive of all of the programs